Hello friends, today we shall be looking at one of the Excel's most unique yet powerful feature which can help save your productive time. This is Excel's magical flash fill. So how can you use this function and what are some of the uncommon and advanced uses of flash fill? Well, let's find out. Suppose your manager often gives you certain data cleansing tasks in Excel which is required for some analytical work. Data cleansing such as extraction, trim, text formatting is required to be done quite frequently. And for performing these data cleansing tasks, there are various functions in Excel such as the trim function, left, right, or mid function, concatenate, or text join functions, and so on. While these are useful and most commonly used functions, one has to be well versed with the use of Excel formulas and must be aware about which one to use for the task at hand. To resolve this, flash fill can become your dear friend. As you can see, we have some tables with certain employee names. And we have a task for some data extraction So, first we shall learn how to use some of the flash fill's commonly used features, and then we shall move to the next part where we shall learn some of the advanced capabilities of this magical feature. The first task is to extract the first name from the full employee names as appearing in row 8 to row 13. Now, to do this, normally, we would have used some Excel formulas or text-to-column methods. But here we can simply do this, and here you go. All the subsequent first names are separated. I used a shortcut key for activating the flash fill, which is Ctrl+E. Alternatively, you can select flash fill from the Home tab under Editing Options and click on the flash fill option. Next, we can also extract the last names in column C. As you can see, I have just typed in the sample for the first name, and flash fill automatically identifies the pattern and fills down the required names as required by us. We can even type the name in uppercase as I have done in cell D8. I click Ctrl+E, and we have all the names in uppercase. Lastly, we have to create an email ID from the names as I have typed for the first name John Mendez. Now, when I activate the flash fill, Excel has correctly filled down all the email IDs as required for the other names in the subsequent rows. As you can see, flash fill is not a formula but a plain text, hence this is not dynamic to changes in the source text. This is something to remember. The next table is for specific text patterns. Again, we have some employee names and under pattern 1. I have just reversed the name by last name first and then the first name and made it bold italic. I click Ctrl+E and we have the result. Similarly, in pattern 2, we have just typed the first name Richard and his last name as B and changed the font color to red and bold. Ctrl+E and here you go. Next, for pattern 3, I have added a salutation as Mr. and then the first name. Now when I try to activate the flash fill, I'm getting an error as you can see. This is because for flash fill to work, sometimes we need to provide another example for Excel to correctly identify the pattern and give the correct result. So here, I type Mr. and then George. Now click on Ctrl+E. Flash fill has now correctly given us the right result. Also for pattern 4, I have typed Mr., then first name's initial letter and then the last name. I have also formatted it bold italic. Activate flash fill and Excel has done the work for you. These are some of the common uses of flash fill, but this feature is capable of doing some more complex data cleansing tasks as well. So in the next section, we shall learn some of these advanced uses of flash fill. The first one is about data extraction, which is in a linear pattern. As you can see, we have a table with some invoice numbers and dates. Now, the task is to extract only the numeric part of the invoice number. So I have typed in 143 for the first invoice, and I click on Ctrl and E. Here you go, flash fill has extracted just the numbers from the original invoice. Next task is to merge the numeric part of the invoice number and the date in a square bracket. I have also formatted the text in red color. Now, activate flash fill, your work is done. Next task is to add a word date, then a colon symbol, and for the date, I have need the month first, then a slash, then the date, slash, and then the year. I have also added an underline and made it bold. I click Ctrl+E and here you go. Brilliant, isn't it? Lastly, we shall learn how you can use flash fill for extracting text which is having a non-linear pattern. The task is the same. Firstly, we need to separate the numeric element from the invoice number. Now, if I simply activate flash fill, you can see Excel has given me a result, but it is not what I want. Excel thought I need only the middle part of the invoice between the two hyphen symbols. To resolve this, I shall type the numeric from the second invoice, that is 234. and then I click on Control E. Excel has now identified the pattern and extracted the numeric, which are not always at the same place in the original invoice number. As you can closely observe, the numeric for the second invoice is on the left side, for the third invoice it is on the right side, and so on. But still, Flash Fill has identified the requirement and returned a correct result. This is the power of Flash Fill. Next, we shall also include a date along with the numeric. Again, I click on Ctrl+E and it's done. So, as we saw, Flash Fill is a great feature which identifies the pattern of your inputs and then returns the results for the subsequent rows, all this with just a simple click. No use of any complex formulas and stuff. Clean, simple, and powerful. Friends, I hope you find this tutorial helpful. If yes, please share it with your Excel buddies. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.